and to the community, sharing your ideas, your priorities, and what you see in our city's future. Thanks also to the Park City Library for hosting us here in the Jim Santee Auditorium, and to our crew here, there, everywhere for making this possible. And for anybody who can't be here, we are streaming it online. There's a link at kbcw.org, and it is on our YouTube page. Up here with me to moderate, we have Park Record Deputy Editor Tori Barnhart, and KBCW's own Connor Thomas. I don't think we ever had applause before. Thank you. And I'm going to be keeping time and making sure the train leaves the station on time. All right, now to the rules. We have 2 hours, a little under 2 hours, to hear why these candidates believe they would best serve Park City for the next 4 years. So first, we will have an hour for these three council candidates running for 2 seats here, and then after that, we will have an hour for the mayoral candidates. We will have a short break in between to switch them out and everybody to change places. Okay, first, council candidates will have 1 minute to give opening statements. Next, we will have the lightning round, where we are looking for short, 1-sentence, about 15-second answers. Then the moderators, we will ask questions to the candidates, general questions. You will have 1 minute for that. Rebuttals will be allowed. If necessary, they will be 30 seconds or less. And that's at the sole discretion of the moderators here. Then each candidate will have a chance to ask one other candidate a question. 15 seconds for the question, 1 minute to answer, 30 seconds for rebuttal if needed. And I will remind you of these as we go along, don't you worry. Finally, the audience, it's going to be your turn to ask the questions. So when we announce that at that time, if you will come up to this mic right here, and then you can ask one council candidate your question or multiple. You'll have 1 minute to answer for that as well. To get through as many questions as possible, we are asking that you keep your question to 15 seconds or less, and it must be a question, no grandstanding. We will politely ask you to get to the point so we can fit other questions in. So thank you for being mindful of that. Finally, they will have final statements, and they will get 1 minute for that as well, and then we will switch and do the same for the mayoral candidates. So we have to be, again, through all of this by 8 p.m., so let's get started.
So we're beginning with introductions at 1 minute each. We'll go in alphabetical order and then rotate each question. So with introductions, Jeremy, we'll start with you.
All right, thanks. Well, appreciate everyone coming tonight. I'm proud to be running for a second term city council and the community's continued support of my pragmatic leadership and fiscal responsibility. I have no conflicts of interest, which really frees me up to treat every issue on its own and look out for the greater good. We'll talk about some accomplishments tonight. Out of the first term, I did exactly what I said, put neighborhoods first, urban safety, transit, and traffic improvements, created value for our taxpayers, giving you access to your assets like recreation, golf, Bonanza Flat, etc. Wildfire mitigation has been implemented. We're burying high voltage transmission lines, something that's caused devastation elsewhere. I'm proud to be in my 4th year with the Park City Fire District's board. And I'm looking forward to discussing issues tonight. This election is for a city that deals with hundreds of millions a year. It takes capabilities and qualifications to be able to do that. I could list degrees and certifications, but really it's also about acumen and courage, something from my 25-year professional career in Big Four management consulting.
That's your time, Jeremy.
From
Thank you.
strategic planning to organizational transformation. So thank you again. Let's continue the magic.
Okay, Tanner.
Thank you all for being here. My roots in Park City go back to 1860. My family has run a small business on Main Street for 63 years. This town has helped raise me. Like many of you though, I left home for a bit to see what else the world had to offer. I lived in Colorado, worked in tourism and technology, and led teams across the globe. But I came home because Park City is extraordinary. There's nowhere else like it, and I deeply respect who we are and how we got here. On council, I've worked to protect what makes this place special while moving us forward. I've helped advance the new senior center, protected open space, and expanded recreation, pushed real traffic and infrastructure solutions, represented Park City at the state level to protect local control, and I work to keep our economy vibrant so we all can enjoy the quality of life we love. I lead by listening, I lead by collaborating, and I lead by getting things done with people, residents, nonprofits, businesses, regional partners, because that's how progress happens. Park City is not broken, and it's not something that we need to take back. This town was built on vision, courage, and community. So
That's
let's
right.
finish what we started.
Thank you. Diego?
Okay, wow, you're being tight on time, so thank you everyone for coming tonight. It's good to see you all. Thank you KBCW on the park record. My name is Diego Segarra, and 20 years ago, I came to this country. 8 years ago, I became a U.S. citizen. That milestone moved me to back to public service. In all my time in Park City, I've worked to bring people together. Through board service on over a dozen organizations and my many years as Vice President of Impact at Park City Community Foundation, where I've focused on advancing mental health services, expanding access to youth sports, or sustainability initiatives. My work has always been about strengthening the fabric of this community and ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to thrive. I'm running for office because I believe our council can lead with both vision and compassion, protecting what makes this place special while ensuring it remains accessible and vibrant for you and generations to come.
Thank you. I should have mentioned, I just want to ask if we can hold our applause till the end so we can just give them as much time possible to get in as many questions as possible. Thank you.
All right, so we'll go to the lightning round now with 1 word to 1 sentence answers. Each should be 15 seconds or less.
We're going to start with Hannah this time. The question is, what do you see as your role as a council member outside of legislative and fiduciary responsibilities?
To ensure that Park City remains a place where we all can thrive and we all can continue to live here and to protect the environment of it.
Yeah, I think about it as being an ambassador for our town, supporting our staff, trusting our staff and the work that they do, and much like Hannah said, making sure that it's a place where everyone can thrive.
To be a community leader and really set the tone, it's important that we represent everyone, whether we agree with them or not.
All right, and Matthew Prince, the new owner of Townlift Plaza, wants to upgrade the lift to a gondola that could connect to the Cottonwood Canyons. What do you think, Diego?
Wow, 15 seconds?
Yes.
Oof, okay. I'm interested in seeing what transit solutions we can have in this community. I need to understand more about this gondola project to figure out if it is going to be good for us. I'm not entirely sure it is immediately.
Okay.
I actually suggested it when it came up at an official meeting, that we need to stop looking at the Main Street to Snow Park connection and start looking at the Old Town to Cottonwoods connection if we really want to up our game. It's exciting.
Yeah, I also support it and have spent the last few years talking through it with the Sweeneys who had thought of doing it before Matthew Prince owned that property.
Next question, we're going to start with Jeremy this time. Park City is studying 2 future options for State Route 248, bus rapid transit and light rail. Which do you prefer?
Actually, I prefer innovative solutions. Another one we're looking at is a directional flex lane, which could be used for transit and then potentially open up to let the egress outflow of town, which backs us up. So if we could really get to something that solves some problems and we can define that outcome, we can see real progress.
To answer the question, BRT.
Same. Bus rapid transit over light rail.
Next question is, what's a problem that requires a regional solution? Hannah first.
Maybe 4. Recycle Utah, BRT, Senior Center, the Olympics.
I'm gonna stick to housing. I think there's opportunities beyond the borders of our town to work collaboratively with the county and look at those housing solutions over the next few years.
So my top 3 would probably be traffic and circulation improvements. Our arteries are an issue, and that goes beyond our local region. It also goes down to the Salt Lake area and the Beaver Valley. Housing is another one where we can look for a lot of opportunities. And really just being a complete community and looking beyond our Park City borders.
Is it time to renegotiate the city's 1998 development agreement with Park City Mountain? Diego.
How long has it been? 27 years? Yeah, I think it might be time.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. You know, how this works is a private entity requests a revision, and if the mountain would like to pursue upgrades in collaboration with the city, I'd be first in line to do that.
Yes, absolutely. As we go into the Olympics, I think that it's extremely important that we retake a look at that with the resort.
And beginning with Jeremy, what's the last book that you read?
That's a good question. I actually listen to comedy books quite a bit, and the Nate Bargatze one that just came out was the latest. It's fantastic. I recommend it to everyone. It's called Big Dumb Eyes, and it'll give you a good laugh.
Honor Best Behavior, which is a book about empowering more women to be in leadership roles.
The book is called Abundance by Ezra Klein. There's a lot of lessons for our community in that book. There's opportunities for us on how we approach projects and what are the reasons that projects are stopped by. Abundance by Ezra Klein.
Tana, you're going to start this next question. Do you support the plans in motion to build a new senior center on the Mohani parking lot across the street from the library?
Yes, I do support that. On the Moody lot, yes.
Unequivocally, I think we owe seniors a place that is commensurate with their investment in our community. I'd love to see that place be state of the art and a fantastic place for everyone to go spend time.
Absolutely, and we need to do it right. You know, when you do something, if you don't do it right, you end up doing it again in a few years. That would be the wrong solution, and we need to do it in collaboration with the county as well.
Our next question, would you support expanding e-bike use on local trails?
I think I will have to look at specific trails, not everywhere. I think there's opportunities for that, especially the double wide, bigger trails in Round Valley, not everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, technology shouldn't be something we're afraid of. It has to be safe though. We need to work in collaboration with organizations like Mountain Trails to identify the right places to do it and to make sure it's safe. But yeah, we don't want to fall behind. We want to keep up.
Yes, there are certain trails that we definitely can expand e-bikes on. Most of our trails in this community were built to not stand e-bikes, and that's a lot of information that we've learned from our partners at Mountain Trails, so it needs to be done right.
Jeremy, you're going to start this next question. Depending on the outcome of the mayor's race, the city council may appoint a new council member. Who would you choose?
Well, there's actually a process for it, right? And you interview folks. I would hope for a qualified field and work with the fellow councilors to come up with the best solution. Again, it's not about what one person thinks, it's about what the body thinks is best for the community.
Yeah, we actually don't know who would even apply, so I think it's hard for us to answer that question. But I do think that we would take a look at who was elected and then what kind of qualities the people who were coming in would help to fill in that additional fifth role.
Yeah, similarly, I look at the skills of the existing council and body of electeds, and then look at the pool of applicants that we have and pick the person that's best qualified for that moment and the person that complements our skills the best.
All right, next, starting with Tana, do you support additional funding to extend the city's child care scholarship program beyond fiscal year 2026?
Yes, I think it's been a huge success, and it's now something that is talked about all over, not just with ski towns throughout the U.S., but also at the federal level. And so, yes, I do support it.
100% yes.
Yeah,
Wait, sorry. More seconds. But we're running the clock. Absolutely yes. I would say that affordability is critical for this town. We are losing young families and families in our workforce every day. And if there's something we can do as a local government to help, we should.
Yeah, I mean, Tana and I worked on initial support for this program. It's been wildly successful. I would continue support for it. We're looking at tweaking it now for it to be even more effective. It's pretty exciting. It's an investment in our community and an investment in our workforce. It's important.
Diego, you're gonna start. Would you like to leave Main Street as is, make traffic one way, or add more pedestrian space?
As is, more pedestrian space or one way?
Yes.
I would be interested in any updates that we do to Main Street, make sure that it remains the special place that it is, keep an eye on historic preservation. I like the idea of mobility and walkability improvements in the area, because as many folks that have walked it in the winter know how narrow those sidewalks can be, and from a safety standpoint, I would invest in that.
So yeah, I've said it on the record, I support traffic and circulation improvements in the Old Town area. They're necessary. I support looking at some innovation as long as we preserve the historic character and unique charm we have here in Park City. That would absolutely be a shame to harm. It's a gem. And the curbless street idea is a really cool one, so it gives us the flexibility to try things like one-way or bi-directional traffic or diagonal parking or staffed parking or whatever the case may be, but really giving us options to play with.
Yeah, adding to that, I also am really excited to talk about geothermal, which is part of our, when the plan comes back to us, looking at geothermal, pedestrian circulation, how cars and pedestrians intersect, and really ensuring that our historic character stays on Main Street, but also that we're evolving to the needs of the evolving community.
Okay, now moderators are going to ask general questions and candidates will have, sorry, you want me to start again? Moderators are going to ask general questions and candidates have up to 1 minute to answer. Rebuttals up to 30 seconds will be allowed when needed and at the moderator's discretion.
I believe we're starting with Jeremy on this one, like last time.
Yes, we'll start.
Okay. So what's the biggest concern you're hearing on the campaign trail, and how will you work to fix it?
Sure. So, the biggest concern out there, I think, is that we maintain the fabric of the community and that we keep Park City the magical place that we all believe it to be. And that can mean something different to everyone. And that's why it's important to represent the entire community in all that we do. It's not about pushing a personal agenda or ideology. It's about doing the best work for the greater good. And people are really concerned out there about that happening. The other big one is around community safety. And that's always been a focus of mine. Neighborhood preservation, keeping it vibrant, making sure people can walk and bike. You're never going to get them out of their cars to reduce traffic and take cars off the road unless you can make people feel safe. And the actual improvements that have gone into place, and the ones shared even last night at the Transportation and Transit Open House at the Mark, really exciting stuff that really moves the needle. We've seen more people than ever walking around, and we have to continue that great work.
Yeah, so of course, I think for 4 to 5 decades, the #1 concern has been traffic and transit. And so that continues to be something that we will continue to work on. A lot of people are really interested in what we can do in order to get ready for the Olympics, and what kind of federal programs there will be and what kind of state programs there will be. And then also, how do we ensure that we are going to continue to have an environment that we can ski, and that climate change is happening all around us, and are we going to be able to have long enough winters? And so that's something that I'm hearing consistently as well, and that people just want to preserve the way of life they have here, but they also fear that it's getting to the point where it's so expensive that we're just going to become a retirement community. And so keeping families first and putting that at the forefront of ensuring that our future generations have a place to grow is one of the top priorities for me.
Yeah, similarly, first of all, thank you if you've opened your door in the last few months. I've really enjoyed the conversations, and what I'll say is that traffic and transit, traffic is really one of the main issues folks have brought up. And it has been an issue in this community for such a long time that it's hard to promise a silver bullet solution for this or a home run, but I'm interested in getting some base hits here and invest in innovative transit solutions for our community that help get get visitors out of their cars and into public transit, which is incredible in our town. The other concern I've heard And you saw it I think this or last week in the Park Record, where former city manager Matt Dias talks about affordability and the challenge that our community faces over the next few years, and who gets to live in this town, and how do we make this place welcoming to the world and to our workforce as well.
How would you rate the city's preparation so far for the 2034 Winter Games? What would you do to seize opportunities and mitigate possible issues? Tana starts.
Yeah, I actually think that we're moving in the right direction. We have, the mayor sits on a committee of the state, and she actually chairs that right now, and that will go with the mayor's seat. We also have an internal working group here in Park City that includes the resorts, the chamber, the county, the city, and we're beginning to talk about what does Park City want. And one of the first things that we really need to decide is, does Main Street want to be a non-competitive venue? And if so, that's gonna take a lot of work for us to get ready to do that. But one of the big things I think we need to do is figure out what do we wanna see in 2034 and then work our way backwards. So where do we start? How do we do that? We have a huge opportunity to partner with the state and to partner as a region, and we really need to be focusing on Wasatch Back. 2 weeks ago, I attended a meeting with Senator Curtis and members of the Wasatch Back. That included our county, Wasatch County, and Heber. And he was very, very clear to us. He would like to go to, he wants to go somewhere.
Yeah, I think we are moving in the right direction, and I think we're just a little bit behind the 8 ball. And one of the things I'd love to see is really see our community rise up to the occasion and leverage investments in transportation and housing over the next 8 years and 3 months. I think to me, the Olympics will be a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity to showcase our community and to once again welcome the world. I'm more curious about what happens the day after the Olympics and the Paralympics are over. Did we take advantage of this opportunity in this moment, or did we let things happen to our community that we didn't want? Have we been thoughtful about affordability and who gets to stay here? Have we worked hard to keep our sense of community? I'm very interested in the first 6 months in office for us to look at a compact, a set of values, much like we did before the 2002 Olympics, for us to adopt and as a community live up to.
Park City has discussed redeveloping several city-owned properties.
One more person. please.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jared.
Pardon me, Chair.
So, I'll tell you what, we did it well in 2002, and the leaders of this city did a fantastic job making it work. So I don't think that we're necessarily behind the 8 ball. I do think we have opportunities though, and it's an exciting opportunity for our community, especially the youth of our community. And we have 2 young daughters, 7 and 10 years old, and for them to experience what's coming is truly special. It really is. My 25-year career I mentioned in Big Four consulting and management strategy focuses in utilities and infrastructure. So I worry about that stuff that a lot of people just hope works, right? Your light switch works, your faucet turns on, the stove works, that kind of thing. That strategic planning that comes alongside with it, that's where we have an opportunity to look bigger than spot planning, to look bigger than, say, a 5-acre parcel, to look at a district, to look at a zone, to look at our interactions with the region down to Salt Lake, down to Heber, like we talked about, out east even, and go on and on and on. We could use things like fiber upgrades here, we could use power upgrades, we could move that substation out of Bonanza. There's some exciting stuff coming.
We got the first half of this one. Park City has discussed redeveloping several city-owned properties along Sweet Alley, including the China Bridge Garage and Brew Pub parking lot. What's the best use of that space, and how should the city approach it? Diego.
Me first? Okay. I think that whatever we do in Sweet Alley, I'm just gonna echo something I said earlier, I would like for it to be focused on walkability and accessibility. If it can speak to the character of Main Street specifically, that's something I would be interested in. I'd rather not see a massive hotel, boutique hotel being developed there. I'd rather us not sell Marsac. I feel that that's part of the soul of our town, and yeah, whatever happens on Sweet Alley, it just needs to remain within the character of our town and Main Street.
Thanks. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Traffic and circulation are job number one in the Old Town area while we maintain the historic character and don't ruin the unique charm that we have here. It really is what makes us special and differentiates us. That being said, there are certainly opportunities for things like pedestrian safety. It's a problem. It really is. And back to nobody's going to get out of a car unless they feel safe doing so. We can make those improvements and focus on Sweet Alley to do it. And that's exactly what we've directed staff to do as part of this Main Street discussion. I'd also like to see Upper Main Street activated, but consistent with the brand that we want to present. Not just activated like any ski town USA, activated like Park City, Utah. And that's a really exciting opportunity for us to pursue. China Bridge is a unique issue with part of it failing, and we can look at that as an opportunity to redevelop the part that is failing and make it a legacy project, again, on brand with our historic character and uniqueness.
Yeah, so as someone who owns a business on Main Street and is in and out of Main Street, 4 or 5 times every single day, by car, a lot of the time running errands back and forth, I can tell you that we, first and foremost, need to beautify Sweet Alley. The blue dumpsters, the power lines, people's waste everywhere, it's not a pretty place. So I think there needs to be some redevelopment on Sweet Alley, and I'd really like to see it focused in on small businesses. Right now, it's about $100 to $115 a square foot to lease a building on Main Street. If we